My Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the earth, let me take this moment to say Shabbat Shalom. And we thank you so much that you take this time out to spend these few moments with us. I want to thank each of our administrators. Thank you so much for your service to YAHUAH and to this channel here. Just want to thank you. My brothers, my sisters, a lot of things been going on. And, one of the big thing that happened this week, as most of you, if you listen to the news, this tragedy there in Baltimore with the bridge, being struck by a cargo ship. My brothers, my sisters, my heart goes out for the family members of those who have lost loved ones. And, one of the things I kept saying over the past few days is that what if it was during the peak hours when hundreds of thousands of cars and trucks passing through? I've been through that bridge before too. I've been through it on that bridge before. And and I tell you, my brothers, my sisters, my heart just, burns inside for the horror of seeing that bridge falling up. Just looking at it, can you imagine people that were, some of the workers that were in the bridge, and then those who were traveling? Can you imagine? It's like you're looking at a horror movie, And so, please, we're asking all of our friends, you are coming in the chat, please remember the family of those people that been lost, in there. Okay. All right. So, my brothers, my sisters, it seems as though, I'm telling you the truth. I've heard quite a few people talk about this this thing with Putin in Russia. Putin generally don't like black people. Putin does not like people of color. Much more the Hebrew Israelite people. And for years, he knew from he was serving as a Secret Service officer. They know that for years. All of these information been stuck away someplace in some closed building. And he got to the point now where he said, you know what, I can't keep it any longer. Let me just let it out. But my brothers, my sisters, this is not something new for me. I've been saying it openly for over 30 years. When I went around in several churches and taught blacks in the Bible, few people listen to me. Before the Ark was started, before it was founded, the Ark was founded, I went to Moray, Yoshiyahu's church, and I taught blacks in the Bible. It wasn't long after that he got the message and he changed. I've never seen a brother or anyone that listened to this series of teaching that I did that changed so fast. Number one, he has it in his mind, is a question in his mind a long time before I even went to his church. So when I went there, I just, have to confirm in his mind what he was thinking. And all of the things that he heard and all the things he heard from his family members that were Hebrew Israelite. And I've seen that, and I've seen several other groups. There is a brother, I can't remember his name, but he's in the Detroit area. And I got to try to see if I can get in touch with him, because it's been probably 20 years the last time I saw him. 20 years. A matter of fact, I shared in one of my sessions about being in New Orleans and going to a Messianic meeting. They were part of this Southern Baptist Convention, and talked to a couple of the Messianic people there. And it was during that same time I met him. A matter of fact, it was my executive director who went to his booth and talked with him and phoned me and told me to go and check him out. Can you imagine? The same people who have to fire me from a position. He met the gentleman and he knew that because I was talking about being Hebrew Israelite and talking about, our ancestry and everything. He went and he saw the man and he told the man about me, and we were supposed to meet. It didn't work out. A matter of fact, I saw him. I met this gentleman again, and in 2014 was the last time I saw him at another convention, and I think it was in Indianapolis, and we had promised to get together. We just never happened. It just didn't happen. Okay, but my brothers and sisters, we're going to be talking about the pathway to holiness in our time of meditation today, as we prepare ourselves to meet YAHUAH. He's coming back. We can't wait until he comes to prepare ourselves. We have to start preparing ourselves, okay? And help to prepare others so that they can be ready when he comes. All right, let us continue to pray for our friends and our loved ones, family members, and those of you who are in the chat are coming in. Before I forget, brothers and sisters, as you come in the chat, please remember to put it up, shout it out for our administrators. And I told you, 10,000, right? If you want to add some more to show your appreciation, add some more to that number. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what to add. I want you to use your conscience and you add to that number. Shout it out to our administrators. They're doing a fine job, and brothers and my sisters, they're keeping things going, because I cannot do what I'm doing here and also administer at the same time. I can't do that. Okay. Trying to keep my mind and my thought here and the word. Okay. But my brothers and sisters, let me say this. We have people scattered everywhere. They're scattered everywhere. And Sometimes, we feel and we act as though we are the only ones, but our brothers and sisters scattered. And many of them have been awakened. Many of them have not yet been awakened. And many of them are living the Gentiles' lifestyle. We need to get them out of that. We need to get them out of that. And just want to thank Yahuwah that He loves us in such a way, my brothers and my sisters, that when our ancestors, decide that they want to take matters in their own hands and they're going to go where they want to go and do what they want to do, we thank Yahuwah that He didn't reject us. He put us off for a while. That's a part of the punishment. When we don't do what He says. But praise be to His holy name, He didn't forget us. He did not forget us. And He said we are called by His name. And because we are His, my brothers and my sisters, we need to do the things that bring praise and honor and glory to Him. And when we do that, it means we're keeping His commandments, we're doing the right thing. We hear people say, oh no, the commandment is done away with, and it was weak, and it was... My brothers and sisters, the word said in Psalm 19 verse 7, it said, the law of Yahuwah is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahuwah is why it helped the simple. It helped the simple to become wise. And as we continue to read, you're going to see it is more than it is more than gold. This is how valuable it is, how precious it is. And I keep telling people, what Yahuwah freed us from was from the ceremonial part of the law. We have to do the sacrifices. He freed us from that. Otherwise, right now, we'll be getting ready to do it again. Excuse me. We'll be getting ready to do it again, brothers and sisters. So we thank Yahuwah that He made the way for us. Okay, so then, let us pray. Remember those in the continent, Africa, Central, West, Southern, Northeast, East Africa. Remember all of our scattered brethren there. Those in Asia and all Asian countries. Okay? Please remember them. Those in Europe, please remember them, my brothers and my sisters. In South America, Central America, the Caribbean islands, the problem that's going on in Haiti, seems like there's no stopping for that thing right now. Many people are being killed there. Okay? Please remember them. In Haiti, we have people who are of Israelite descent, and you have some people who are of Hamitic or Kemetic descent. Pray for them. It's real trouble going on there. Then pray for the United States. Pray for our people all through these United States. Those in the territories and those in the mainland. They have special needs, and we need to pray that Yahuwah will meet those needs. And those who need to be awakened, Yahuwah knows who are part of his remnant. We ask that Yahuwah will guide those people and give us the opportunity to share. But brothers and sisters, we thank you. We thank you so much. Thank you for your subscriptions and your likes and your comments, your prayers. And we're going to ask you to continue. Please, don't give up. Just keep on going on. And in all of what's going on around us, let's be strong in Yahuwah. Our Father, our Abba Yah, we thank you. We thank you, Father, that you have been with us. Thank you that you have kept us in so many different ways. Thank you for meeting our needs daily, moment by moment. Thank you for just meeting the needs of your people everywhere, in all the continents of the world. Father, we put them in your hands right now. They're scattered everywhere. And Father, many of them are going as sheep without shepherd. And I pray that in this very moment you will make yourself real to them and help them to turn to you, help them to realize that they are not alone. Father, we know that darkness seems to be having an impact on the scattered people, especially those who are unawakened. I pray in a special way that someone will share with them the knowledge and about the favor, your mercy, so that they'll come to you. We ask, Father, whatever the needs are this moment, whether it be physical, whether it be spiritual, whether it be mental, social, whatever the needs are, Father, financial, whatever the needs are, we trust you. We thank you for our administrators, for their families, and we ask that in a special way, you will grant them your favor, grant them your grace, grant them everything that they need, Father. And as they continue to be light to their households, that, Father, you will just give them the strength and everything that they need for this journey. Again, we thank you. We ask to bless each of our subscribers. We ask that you bless each of those who are coming in this chat right now, those who are on their way home from work and trying to get home, that you'll take them home safely. Again, we thank you. And for the family members of those people who suffered death in Baltimore, we put them in your hands, Father. And we know that there's nothing too hard, no burden too heavy, Father, that you cannot help us to bear. So bless them and give them joy in their hearts, especially if they do not know you for the pardon of their sins, that you will bring them close to you. Again, we thank you. Pray for these governments that are leading us in this city, in the state, and the national government. We ask, Father, that you will shine your light through their lives so that they can lead us aright. Again, we thank you and we bless you. And we give you honor and praise and glory in YAHUAH's name. Praise his name, my brothers and my sisters. Praise his holy and matchless name. And we thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, my brothers and my sisters, we're looking forward for Pesach, or the Passover, our Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're looking forward to that. Is coming up soon. And for those of you who do not have your own home and you're living with family members, that means it's not your own place. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for you to observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Passover like that, because there are things that you have to do at home when you have your own place. Like I'm not living in my own house right now. Okay, we're sharing with my brothers. So the way we did Passover last year, and Feast of Unleavened Bread, we're gonna do it, but it's not going to be the same as how we do it, because there are things that I cannot go into my brother's property and take his stuff and throw it out and say, okay, I don't need this, I don't need that. I can't do that. Okay. And you don't try it either, my brothers and sisters. Don't try it either if this is your case. But try to observe the best way you can. And if you can find a family member who you can share with, that'd be a good thing. If you just by yourself and whatever you can do, just remember, and look, my brothers and my sisters, don't just make it a thing that you do naturally. Make it a spiritual thing. Because the whole purpose of this Passover, when YAHUAH, I would say that symbolically his blood, way back in Egypt, when they took the animal, kill it and put the blood over the doors so that the death would pass away. There's a symbol. It's symbolically referring to YAHUAH. And he came, my brothers and sisters. And the blood that is shed, his own blood, that is sacrificed himself for us. So that when we do that, we are doing it in remembrance of what he did. So it's symbolic, right? And it's a purpose. We don't just do it because we are Hebrew Israelite and we just do it. No, it means something. And so we need to see the meaning in this. When we trust him, the blood that he offers for us once and for all, we are passed from death to life through his blood. Without that, we'll have to keep on doing it, my brothers and sisters. We'll have to keep on doing it. And these days, it will be difficult for the poor people because you don't have places to raise birds. And the poorest people have to get even a pair of turtle doves. You don't have anywhere to raise them. The way the world is today is not like what it was 3,000 years ago. So we thank YAHUAH for what he has done for us. And if you are able to do Passover, then do it to the best of your ability. But remember, don't feel guilty. Rejoice. Feel glad. Feel glad that we are right where we are at this moment. I'm going to do a session on the Passover in the coming week or so. And I will go into that a little bit more and share a little bit more about that. But based on your situation, you're able to do it. If you cannot do it, my brothers and sisters, if you cannot do it based on your living, it all depends on your living situation. It all depends on your living situation. And then those who are part of your family, remember, I'm telling you this, my brothers and sisters, and I want you to hear me well. Sometimes we, as grown folk, think we still have control over our children who are grown too. Okay? They are grown and they have their own ways, their own life, unless they are abiding and believing what you believe, are in fellowship with YAHUAH and YAHUAH. Unless that is the case, you have no control over what they do. And you cannot force them to do what you do. You can encourage them. Pray for them and encourage them, but you cannot force them. And the reason why many of our family members turn away from us and don't want to be around us when we talk about YAHUAH and YAHUAH, and we talk about the being Hebrew Israelite, because they've learned that many of us put pressure on them, and if they didn't accept it the way we do, and don't believe and see it the way we see it, you out of here. No, love them, pray for them, encourage them, but do not drive them away from you. They are your blood, they're your family. YAHUAH loves us. Let us demonstrate his love towards each other, our own family members, and towards our friends. Let me tell you what happened to me today. I went into a store, and whatever I went in to do, they said the computer was down, so I'll have to wait a few minutes. So while I was waiting, 3 or 4 people came. I was there before them, but I was sitting down waiting. And they came, and then guess what? The first one jumped. When she came in, I said, I must wait. She knew I was there before, but she jumped in front of me. You know what I did? I got up and I said, okay. And the person was behind her. And I said, you in line too? He said, yes. I said, okay. So I turned to the first person. I said to her, by the way, how are you doing today? And she was shocked. She looked at me down. I said, do you go on YouTube? I said, do you go on YouTube channels? She said, yes. I said, could you be kind enough to look at your phone and see if you can find the journey back to YAHUAH? And she said, are you coming to me spiritually now? He said, yes, it's a spiritual thing. Yeah. It's something helping to bring our scattered Israelite people back to YAHUAH. And she said, okay, sure. And she opened it up. She said to she said, the journey back to YAHUAH. Funny, and he brings it up, and then first thing that happened is that one of the sessions that I just finished doing 2 days ago came up. I said, "That's you." He said, "Yeah," and I said, "You have a lot more to see. Please subscribe." And she smiled, and you see, I could have made a big thing out of it, my brothers and sisters. But because we went first, it does not necessarily mean that you must be served first. Be a servant. Okay? Be a servant. And so we just want to thank Yahuwah. And he has a way of putting people in your right in your spot when you can talk with them, you can encourage them, you can say things to bring, comfort. But had I gone in there and started making up a lot of noise and I said, "Well, I'm first," and so, she wouldn't want to listen to me. I would not be able to tell her about my channel. And if she sees it, she bunks into it. And she'll say, "Oh," when she see me, she's going to say, "Oh, that's the guy that I saw in the store that was nasty to me." Hey, my brother and sister, sometimes, we got to give up our rights just to make things go well, And some people say, "Well, don't tell me that because that's what we've been doing all our lives. We taking the backstage, and everybody do evil and do stuff to us, and then, we just have to sit back and just take it and say, oh, we're doing it because," and this, turn the other cheek, that kind of thing, But Yahweh wants us to live, and he put us in strategic. Yahweh, he places us in strategic places so that we can be a blessing. Amen? So today we talked about the pathway to holiness. And it is Isaiah chapter 35, verses 1 through 10. And we're not going to finish all of that today. We're just going to at least, go into the introductory part of it. Brothers and sisters, let me confess and let me apologize. Okay? Basically, meditation time not supposed to take 2 hours. Okay? But sometimes I get carried away, right? And when I say it, I just want to talk. The more I say it and the more the information is coming, and I just want to share it. I just want to share it. But there comes a time when we have to realize, that we have other things to do. You have your family to take care of, especially for the our administrators, and they have you have your children, you have your grandchildren, different ones in your life that you have to attend to them. And being a Hebrew Israelite does not hinder you or keep you away from doing that. That, a matter of fact, it makes you want to spend time with your family, because this is all about the family. Okay, it's all about the family. Yahuwah brought us together as families, and we need to share that and help our family to see that. Okay, so let us jump into this. And when we look at this passage, we see here in Isaiah 35, we see promises of redemption, and we also see the way of holiness. So Isaiah 35 really paints a vibrant picture, of the future, and this future is very deep, in hope, is very deep in joy and the divine protection of Yahuwah, So we see that. All right. It promises us a time when the physical and the spiritual healing will occur. Right now we're experiencing it, right? But it's not in its fullness yet. This is like the beginning of it, right? And I said, joy will replace sorrow, my brothers and my sisters. Many of us, have experienced, sorrow in our lives, okay? And joy, the joy of Yahuwah, going to replace all of that sorrow, you know, and they're going to be we're going to experience the transformative power of Yahuwah and his redemption, and they're going to serve as a beacon of hope. You know, we today, my brothers and sisters, we are reminded that the love of Yahuwah in our lives, the love of all of that can make the desert in our lives, you know, the desert in our lives going to bloom, my brothers and my sisters. Many of us are experiencing hardship, you know, but when we start putting our trust, when we start putting our confidence in him, you know, Yahuwah is not going to turn his back on us. Many times, Yahuwah is just waiting to see what we're going to do. He knows what he's going to do already. He knows how he's going to help us, my brothers and sisters. And so, he's not going to allow his redemptive purpose to fail. You understand? Yahuwah is not going to allow his redemptive purpose to fail. All we have to do is learn how to trust him. Learn how to trust him. My brothers and sisters, when I have a need, I do not run around and fall down in pity and, you know, cry and moan and reflect negatively on what Yahuwah is doing for me. No, I trust him because you know what? He is going to come through for me. Yahuwah is going to come through for me. One of the things that I learned over the years, and especially since I retired, you know, how to make a small amount work. I'm talking about finances. So what I do, I have to budget. I have to make sure that when I see something, if it's something that I need, I'm going to pray and ask Yahweh to meet that need. And he's always going to let my little money work, and he will send someone to put a few bucks here to say, help you in, you know. And I see that this is how Yahuwah works. He is working on our behalf, my brothers and sisters. You know. So we got to trust him. We have to learn how to trust him. We have to learn that, especially for those of you who are not working, that you don't have a job. For those of you who are searching for jobs, you got to learn how to trust him. You have to fill out those applications. You know, you got to send your resumes. You got to do all of these different things. And you have to trust Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah is able, and he's going to provide for you. You know, he's going to provide for you, my brothers and sisters. And so we know that in the new life that Yahuwah is giving us, this new life, and it's new. It's new and it's beautiful. And so in this passage, what I did, excuse me, what I did in this passage, in Isaiah chapter 35, I kind of break it down because I want to go increment by increments, okay? And what we're going to try to do today is to see if we can finish the first section of it. You know, we're going to say we can finish the first section of it. You know, and this is an important call. Just a moment. Hello? Yes. 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 Oh, there's an emergency thing that I have to do for my brother. Sorry about that. But I got to answer him. Okay. All right. Good. So, in this passage here, we break it down. So we're going to have verses 1 and 2 that we're going to be dealing with in Isaiah 35, verses 1 and 2. And we're going to name this the will that YAHUAH will transform the wilderness into garden. Okay, when we talk about the wilderness into garden, this is a thing that he's going to do, right? But I want us also to put ourselves in this. If you've never done it before, try it. Just think of your life for a moment as a life that has, this little in and out. Like one moment you're experiencing, the green grass in your life, if you understand the term. This is a figuratively talking. And one moment is dry. Like one moment is like it's empty. And another moment it is filled. Have you ever experienced that? Or just me? Okay. One of the things that we hear over and over and over, oh, you're going to have eternal life. Yes, that's true. For those of us who are awakened, we're going to have that. But we're not realizing, it's not being taught very much. And the reason why many of the pastors, many people don't teach it, is because when you start talking about abundant life, they start thinking, oh, here come again, one of those prosperity preachers and teachers. I'm not talking about those prosperity preachers and teachers. Name it. You name it and you own it. No. It doesn't work like that. As far as we are concerned and as far as our relationship is with YAHUAH. YAHUAH, when he came in the form of his son, Yahushua, he said, and you shall have life and have it more abundantly. The reason why we are not experiencing the abundant life that is promised to us is because many times we don't take things seriously. Or we hear it, but if it happened, it happened. If it doesn't happen, so we got something and we go at it and a hit and missing thing, You're in a dart, but the target is there. And you're going to throw it, you're not throw it directly to the target, don't throw it, it falls anyway you want to fall. If it's outside the target, all right. No. We aim at it. He said, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it. Okay, so where do you throw the dart? Wherever you want the dart to go, that's where you're going to go. You throw it. But if you aim at it, if you're throwing at the target and you don't get into that, don't hit that target, you keep trying until you hit it. And practice it. Okay, so I said, YAHUAH will transform the wilderness into a garden. In verse 1 it said here, the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them. For them. And the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. So then, my brothers and sisters, hear what YAHUAH is saying here to his prophet. YAHUAH is making us a promise. He is going to take us someplace. Yahushua said, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go, that's what he said in John chapter 14. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Right. So then, the wilderness, he's going to take this solitary place and he's going to make it livable. He is going to make it livable. And I want you to notice here that it said the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad. Shall be glad for them. For them. For who? For the people that he gonna place there. Who is he gonna place in the place that was wilderness and solitary? Who is gonna place there? We. He's gonna make it livable, habitable. Yes. When I drive and you know, in places like in Arizona area, some part of California in the desert, and especially if you're traveling on Interstate 40, you have to go through a whole lot of dry land, solitary dry land. So you wanna, and sometimes you look over there and you see few houses. That's where most of the Native American tribes are, in those dry places. That nothing seems to grow there. Okay? And my brothers and my sisters, and I look over there and I can just imagine it right now, how dry those places are. The only thing you see in some of those places is like cactus. Because cactus grow anywhere. Okay? And some little trees seem like they're not higher than this. Okay. Very rare you see a tall, big tree. Dry. And YAHUAH is going to take those places and he's going to turn it excuse me, into livable condition. I want us to look at the word glad here, because the word glad is the word sus. Sus. Sus is a Hebrew word, and my brothers and my sisters, it is like sin, vav, and sin. Those are three letters that make up the word sus. And it means to exalt. A matter of fact, the word sus could be also be cease. Could be also cease. And it means to exalt or to rejoice. And can you imagine? Here we come. Here we come. And then the wilderness and the solitary place start being glad. My brothers, can you imagine? And then they start being glad, start greatly rejoice, joy, rejoicing, my brothers and my sisters. It comes from a root word, means to be bright, to be cheerful. Now, if YAHUAH is going to make the wilderness and the solitary place bright and cheerful, and be glad and rejoice greatly, then why is it we can't do it? Tell me, why is it that we can't do it, my brothers and my sisters? Why? We have to develop that atmosphere. I don't know if the atmosphere is a good word to use, but we have to develop that thing within us where when things are not going the way we want them to go, that we don't give up and throw in the towel. We don't bow to Hasatan's way of trying to get us, to do what he wants us to do. We stand firm, steadfast, unmovable, knowing that YAHUAH is going to keep his promises as he said. Okay, so then, he said, the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, shall be glad for us that YAHUAH going to place there. And this is what he said, and the desert shall rejoice. The desert. And like I talk about the travel, every time I see the word desert, I start thinking about some of the places that I've been and what I've seen. My brothers and sisters, on a hot day, you pass into Arizona, or through New Mexico, or through part of California, in the desert, all you see on the road in the daytime as you travel. Sometimes it's so hot that people decide that they'll sleep in the day. Some place you go in Arizona during the summertime, you cannot find a hotel in the daytime because they're packed with people. Because people do not travel in the day because it's so hot. Especially if the cars don't have good air condition. They sleep in the day and drive in the night when it's a little bit cooler. But the desert place, my brothers and my sisters, hot places, dry. It's like nothing is there but just sand or rocks or, like I said, some trees don't need water to let them stay alive. Little trees. And then in the night when you pass through there, those desert places, you're going to see all kind of animals running through, the foxes and deers, and some places you're going to see bears and so on, But he said the Araba there, the word, the Hebrew word Araba is the word for desert. Araba. The Araba is, the word here is spelled excuse me, Ayin, Resh, Bet, and He. And of course it has the vowel notations that they put on there, and but Araba, and without the vowel notations, people who was brought up in the culture of Hebrew culture, especially ancient Hebrew, or the middle, they know. They don't have to have the vowels, to show how to tell them what the word was. Because sometimes this was a part of their life, steppy. The desert plain or the deserts, the valleys, it comes like from the Sea of Galilee. They said that there was a desert valley running south of the Sea of Galilee. But he said here, the desert shall rejoice. The desert going to be rejoicing for us to come. They're going to be so glad to see us come. Can you remember? This is speaking figuratively here. The desert going to be kind. You're not going to be hot and all of the blossom, leaves, trees, shades. Going to have water. All of these. And he said, the desert, my brother and my sister, the plain, the wilderness. And what he's talking about here, it comes from another word, Arab, okay? And it talks about a desert, especially, like a sterile valley of similar to that in Jordan, and continue towards the Red Sea. When you talk about sterile valley, you talk about nothing grow there. Araba, Champagne, desert. And sometimes the word here refer to the evening. It refer to heaven. It refer to plain. It refer to wilderness. There's a lot of connotation to that word here. But he said, it's going to rejoice. The desert shall rejoice, my brothers and my sisters. Shall rejoice. And when we talk about what kind of rejoicing going to go on there? What kind of rejoicing? The word gil, the Hebrew word gil here, to rejoice, gil, is like, let me use an example. YAHUAH was giving the parable, right? And he talks about the man that has 100 sheep. And one of the sheep went missing. Can you imagine? He has 100, and he can tell that one is missing because he knows them. He knows sheep. It's not like the hireling, The hireling can count and say, okay, we have enough. We take 100 out, we bring 100 back. But the hireling don't really know the sheep, they're not good. Like the shepherd. You know them by name. You know them by the way they are. You know them. Can tell. He said one of them is missing. One of them is lost. What did it? He left the 99 in the safe place. And he went searching for the lost sheep. And when he found it, he put it on his shoulder and he brought it home. And he's glad that he have a sheep. He rejoiced that he have a sheep, but he want other people to rejoice with him. He called his neighbors and his friends. He said, my sheep that was lost, I found it. And it's safe again. And what they do? They come together and they rejoice. Can you imagine? The rejoicing. Singing and clapping and merrymaking. Eating and enjoying meal together and just having a good time in YAHUAH. Say, shall rejoice. And so the word here, Gil, Gimel, Yod and Lamed is the word means there to rejoice. It means to be glad, to joyfully, you know. Come from another word, goal. Goal means properly to spin. Can you imagine people spinning around? Spinning is that's a dancing, you know, under the influence of any, let us say, any violent emotion, usually to rejoice, you know, as craving or fear, to be glad, to be joyful, to rejoice. Yes, my brothers and my sisters. He said, the desert shall rejoice. And then not only that, the desert going to be rejoicing. But look what it's going to do. It's also going to blossom as a rose. Now you look at a dry place. Oh man, it's dry. And all of a sudden, things change. And a dry place start becoming green. And then you look and it's filled with bees because it starts blossoming, and then to the point where even the bees going pollinating. Pollen. My brother, my sister, right now, you hear I'm talking? Excuse me. There is a huge tree right in the yard, inside. And when everything is coming down, I don't have anywhere to park the cars. Right? My brother's car in the driveway, my car is on the side, and another driveway, to double driveway. And let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, when I go there, the pollen is killing me, if you understand the term. If you understand the term. And so the allergy from it, you know. But so I'm talking about the blossoming and the pollens and all that. And then all of that, my brothers and my sisters, the parak, the word blossom here. Parak means abroad. Things start spreading. Okay? Start spreading. New trees start having new branches, new limbs. And it's spreading. And then all of a sudden, you know, we talk about to spread here is dealing with like a sprout, you know, new sprouts, you know, new shoots start coming on. And my brother said, it just start growing. Things change. It break forth in bud. It bloom. It starts spreading, my brothers, my sisters. People say it is extending twigs. It's flourishing, my brothers, my sisters. And it's doing it abroad. It's doing abundantly. It's blossoming. It's breaking forth. New buds. Flourishing. And then sometimes, my brothers and sisters, you'll start find birds start going in there. You didn't know it's a bird in there. It's so much, and that have so many leaves and so many, you know. And then not only so, my brothers and sisters, he said, it is blossoming as the rose. Wow! Just beautiful. You know how beautiful that is going to be. You know how beautiful that is going to be. I'm going to say something here. Don't stone me, but I'm going to say something. All right. you know what life has been for us as a people. Okay. When I just came to Jacksonville, there was a section of downtown Jacksonville. You were going up Union Street. And just as you get off of the freeway in the I-95 and turn on Union Street and get up, on both sides of the road, all the way heading up to Pearl Street, there were some frame houses. Frame houses. And I always wonder why those houses look the way they were. They were not painted in different colors. They're just plain wood. You know, they just have a kind of a, you know, that woody looking color on the outside. They were set off the ground there, like they have little blocks or whatever the house that's set on. And they were there for years. And guess what? I've never seen one white person, Anglo person, living in it. They're always African American people. And then I kept wondering, and as I get to know the place a little more and start understanding, when I get to realize, my brothers, my sisters, none of those people who live in those homes were the owner. They all were renting. All those properties belonging to some white people or some Arab people. People from Lebanese Arab people. They own that property. And after a while, when the people were able to get better jobs because it was right there, right in the middle of integration, people were able to get better jobs and they were able to move. They start moving out and getting their own places and so on, moving into better facilities. Dilapidated. And so because of that, the place, they never really try to keep the place up. I hear people talk about, oh, we're living in the slum, and that's the only place we were able to live. We could afford to live. Those of us who had better jobs and those of us who were doctors and nurses and teachers, they could move out and get on their own and they have their own place and better places to live. The same thing happened in Jerusalem. There's a place called Dimona. And the only European Jews or Jewish people that lived there were those who could not afford to move any better. Who lived there? The poor. But guess what? You have a group of people they call the African American Hebrews. Went from Chicago over there and turned Dimona into a paradise looking place. Not slum anymore. And many of them are there and they're trying to push them out. Some of them are there permanently, some of them get citizenship, some of them don't. And they still fight going on and trying to get them to leave. Because the place is looking good now. They build it up. They help to build it. Just like we came to America, our ancestors, they helped to build Europe, they helped to build the Americas. And nobody want to hear that. Oh, don't stop talking like that. Stop talking like that. But my brothers and my sisters, let me say this. Yahuwah wants us to realize this. He said the wilderness. He said the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them. And he said, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. Praise be to Yahuwah. My brothers and my sisters, Yahuwah, he wants us. Yahuwah wants us, my brothers and my sisters, to realize this, that he can make our lives, he can make our lives what he wants it to be. He can make our lives what he wants it to be. Don't allow yourselves to ever get to that point where you feel that your life doesn't worth anything. Because while we're waiting for him, while we're waiting for him to come to take us into this place that he's going to turn the wilderness and a solitary place. He's going to have the solitary place, the wilderness, are going to be glad to have us. The people of his own pleasure, the people of his own choice. He's preparing that place for us, my brothers and sisters. He is preparing that place for us. And believe me, when we trust him and we walk according to his will, when we trust him and we walk according to his will, he is making sure that we are well taken care of. That's what he said, my brothers and my sisters. That's what he said. That's what he is going to do. Praise be to his holy name. Praise be to his name. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And so, my brothers and my sisters, let us trust him. Yes, my brothers and my sisters. So, as he said in his word, the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, for us. And the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. We know that Yahuwah is coming back, my brothers and my sisters, to take us to the place. And we will continue. We will continue. Yahuwah will transform the wilderness into a garden. We will continue that topic in the next Shabbat meditation time. So we're going to ask you, my brothers and my sisters, to continue to be a blessing to someone and to walk with the King. Shabbat Shalom.